passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dream.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, man, it feels like it's been so long that I wasn't on the show because remember last week was Resurrection Week, so we had a service and could not be on the Inside Show. But yeah, we back, man. We back. And today we have a very interesting topic. And I want to say, girlfriend, wherever you are, boyfriend, wherever you are, I'm sure you have a mirror because I know guys also walk with a mirror wherever they go. And yeah, so I want you to take out that mirror because, yeah, we're going to do that. You know, that's our signature. So yes, and also, if you didn't subscribe yet, come on now. How long must we ask you to subscribe? Please, can you subscribe? And if you're a Crystalite, you must subscribe. That is a must for you to subscribe so that you can support the show, right? And then there's something that looks like a bell. It's called a notification button. If you want to be notified what is going on the Inside Show, come on now, hit that bell. Yeah, and you will know everything happening. Come, I tell you, interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. So come on now. Let's do that, right? And I love you because I know that you are a part of us and we can make a difference together in our communities. Right? So, I am excited today because you know why? I have someone with me here who wrote a book. Yes, her very own book. Yeah, and this book is all about her life story, all about her autobiography. And so, I would like her to introduce herself while you are taking out your mirror, right? Because we're going to do something with the mirror today, okay? So, yes, you see, we have our mirrors here, ready. So, while you are taking it out, I would love my guest to introduce herself and tell the audience who she is, where she's from, and whose mother is she? Because her children, guys, her children are blessed. Yes, blessed in the musical field. So come on now. Here's our guest. Introduce yourself.
Good morning, everybody. I am Jubeida Wilson from Mozambique originally, but grew up in Kliptown. I am the mother of 12, the 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah, the 12 disciples,
the 12
guys.
disciples. Well, if you know Joe for real, you know Peter, you know Josh, you'll know whose mother I am. So that's who I am. And I'm happy to be on the show. Thanks for the invite, my sister Joan. And I don't take it lightly, and I know I'm going to have a ball of a time.
Oh, yes, because on this show, we are real, right? Joe for real. So, yes, guys, if you have your mirror, we're going to talk a little bit to this mirror. And you know what? While I was reading this book, this came to my mind. And I actually want to do this morning because, you know, sometimes we look into the mirror, right? And we just see the outer appearance. We just see whatever is reflecting back to us, right? As individuals. If you look into the mirror, you can see who's the person looking back at you. And you can just see the outer appearance. But you never know. The mirror cannot reflect what is happening on the inside of a person. So, I would love to ask my guest, Jubeida. I would like to ask you and whoever's listening here this morning, I would like to ask you, when you look into the mirror, right? What is the thing that you would love to do or to act out or to bring the mirror alive? You know what I'm saying? What I mean by bringing the mirror alive is if the two is speaking to one another, whatever is happening in the inside, right? To reflect in that mirror when you look into the mirror. So remember now, you see the outside, but the inside is not reflecting. I want you that the inside, whatever's happening inside of you, right, must reflect. Bring the mirror alive and let it reflect what is happening on the inside. So if I must do something that is happening on the inside, wow, girlfriend, boyfriend, I did it this morning with my husband in his office. I went, I greeted him, and I sang to him. I said, I will always love you. Yes, Whitney Houston. So come on now. If you want to bring that mirror alive this morning, come on. You do it. So I love Whitney Houston. And this morning when I woke up, this song was in my mind and in my spirit. So yeah, kyk hierso. Ek is nie net Pinksterie. Nee, ek ken ook nogals daai song sang. Ja man, ja. So now ken jy iets van my, right? Now you know something else about me. So I don't just shout, give me a J. Ja, nee man. Nee, I can nogal sing Whitney Houston's song. So I want my guest to actually bring that mirror alive and speak to that mirror and tell what is happening on the inside.
Okay, looking at myself in the mirror, seeing that I have aged, some bit, but I want my reflection to know that I am not a dying type and I can do bad all by myself and I'm not going down without a fight.
Yeah.
So I am reaching for the sky. The sky is limitless.
Yes.
So I want my reflection to know that there's still a lot inside that needs to come out.
Yes, girl. That is right. So if I was Jubeida, right, and I want to say, well, this girl is not going down without a fight. I was going to do, come on. It's not going to go down without a fight.
Hey,
yeah, man. I have JC here in the studio on the camera, and JC does it. What's up? So, so come on now. You can do that. And yes, I know a lot of you don't know me like this. But now you know something about me, right? Something that is hidden. Yeah, now it's out there. Yeah, this girl can sing also. Your girl. So yes, let us start with the show. As I'm gonna as I said to you, if you don't have this book, please contact us. Right? We will get this book to you. If you can tell us what is the price of this book.
At the moment, because it's the last 20 that's left,
Okay.
it goes for 100 Rand.
Right, the last 20
Yeah.
people. Inbox girlfriend, speak on the show when you on there and you need a book like this. Come, I tell you, there's a lot in this. This book looks so small, but I'm telling you, there's a lot in here. And we're gonna discuss, but just a little bit. Because we can't do everything on the show, right? That's why you need to have this book. Come on, 100 Rand is nothing. You go to McDonald's and you're going to buy a meal for 100 Rand. Dat jy net nou weer toilet toe gaan. And then it's gone. Whereas, if you have this book, come on now. Let us support one another. Right? So yes, we want to thank everybody that is online with us here this morning. Thank you so much, Julie, for tuning in. Thank you, Kathy, for tuning in. Jay Paris, we really appreciate you. Come on now. If you did not check in yet, come on, girls. Let's check in. So we're going to start off, and I would like to pose the first question to my guest, Jubeida. I would love to ask you to tell us a little bit, who is Jubeida? Where's Jubeida born? And how did Jubeida get to South Africa?
Okay. My name, Jubeida, is a South African name. My actual real name is Thlosane Masinga.
Yes, okay.
I was born in Mozambique, in a little town called Barda Matola, to Roberto Masinga and Sophia, who is now Wilson because she had to take on that. That's where my Wilson come from. Well, at the age of 2, my mom left me to come to South Africa where her mother and family was, to Johannesburg, Kliptown. So I was left with my dad and my grandparents from my dad's side. So at the age of 5, attending the Catholic school, maybe people don't know, but Mozambique is a Catholic dominant country.
Oh, yeah?
And they were waging war against the Protestants and the Pentecostals, and you were not allowed to practice your faith freely.
Wow.
So we had a little shack right in the bush. My father's father was a very religious man, and we would walk in one line because of the danger in the bush, the snakes, and there's some wild flesh-eating bushes and trees. So we had to walk in a format to go to this little shack where we have the silent church. So not knowing what was raging in the country, the Frelimo and the Renamo regime was in such a lot of turmoil. The fight was so real that the elderly people would every night go to a certain shack having meetings. We didn't know they're discussing how to get the small kids out of the country so that their legacy can live on. And then just one dumb day when the schools closed for Christmas, we were told to pack up everything that belongs to us. So we wrapped our little clothing in a little cloth that was called ibai, what they use as a wraparound when you see. The ladies out here.
Yes.
They use that. So that little wrapper became now our luggage bag.
Right.
And that was fastened on our backs. And we were going on a holiday for the first time on a holiday, not knowing that we are actually taken out of the country.
Right.
This holiday was the best holiday ever. The goats went with, the cows went with, and the sheep went with. So if we a little bit tired, we would ride a little goat and for a little while, and not knowing that these goats and this cattle have a purpose. So on the second day of our trip, we near a river.
So is this the whole family? Is this
No.
your
35 kids and 35 adults was now selected after these meetings that they had.
So your grandfather was in the Pentecostal Protestant
My grandfather,
side.
yeah. So he knew that our lives were in danger.
Oh, okay.
They were now closing up on this little hut where we're having church. Some spies went to say that there's still people that's not listening. So
Okay.
to get us out of there, 35 children and 35 adults was chosen to take this big holiday, according
Right,
to
so
us.
so they wanted everybody to be Catholic.
Yeah, that's a Catholic dominant country altogether.
Okay.
So most of the Protestants and Pentecostals were killed already. But as children, we didn't know the magnitude of the hatred they have for Pentecostal. So we couldn't pray out loud anymore. We couldn't sing out loud anymore as before. Everything was done in silence. So on the day that we reached the river, it was just like getting like daylight was just breaking. So then we had our last prayer. We were happy for water. We're going to wash. After 2 days walking, this is the third day, at least we're going to wash. We're going to take a
Right,
dip in this water,
right.
not knowing the danger.
Yo.
So the animals started to become restless. And everything had to to be done very quietly because my grandfather would always say, sound travel far.
Yeah, very
at
far,
night.
especially if it's quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was how we were trained. We were really trained and disciplined. So the 35 people, my dad included, each of them put a child on his neck. Now, where are we going to? Why are we on our father's necks? And for us, it's still exciting.
Were
And
you the only child then?
the only
There?
child? Yeah.
Who went
I'm my father's only child.
Oh, okay.
I don't have brothers and sisters from my
Okay.
father's side.
Okay.
My mom has her too.
Oh, I see.
So I was then 5.5 years old, on my dad's neck with my little luggage fastened on my back, and then the other adults that's not supposed to go with, they start pushing the animals towards the water. This water that was silent became alive. The animals started to smell danger. So as soon as the animals reached the water by being pushed in, crocodiles emerged from the water and grab hold. As they grab hold of the
scary.
animals, you have to be swift. My dad, may his soul rest in peace, he had a scratch of the crocodile's nails trying to pull him down, but you have to be swift. It's on the crocodile's back. As the crocodile spin to pull his prey down, you have to jump, and jump.
You jump on the crocodile.
And the
Lord
animal.
have mercy. So
That-
you use it like rocks,
Like
actually,
a rock.
almost.
Yeah. So from the 35 children on the backs of 35 people, we were just 20 that made it across. 20 children and 20 adults. The only visible thing that traumatized me up till this day, that I don't watch National Geographics when there is alligators or crocodiles involved, was the sound of cracking bones, the screaming,
Oh my
and
goodness
the
me.
water turning to blood. That was what I saw from my dad's neck, gripping my father as if I could choke him to death, because what I saw was like out of a horror movie. And when we got across, we found out it's only 20 that made it, 20 children and 20 adults. But they ran so far away from the water as possible. And we hide in a bush just to get our emotions in order. And everything need to be still quiet because we don't know how much noise traveled. And they call them the Verlima, the gorillas, this ones that kill Protestants. They call them the gorillas.
Okay.
We were not sure now, did they hear anything? So we had to be silent as a mouse. And then after a while, we started walking again until my dad, who used to always travel from South Africa to Mozambique, he knew there was only two options: the Kruger National Park to cross through, or the Crocodile River. So either way, it was dangerous.
Yeah, because there's dangerous animals.
Lions and so
tigers and-
they chose to come through the Crocodile River. So after the night that we spent in the bush, we heard the sound of a truck, not knowing if this is enemy or friend. So my dad had to go out and check. We hide behind the bush. My dad gave a little letter to somebody in the crowd saying, I'm going to check. If it's the enemy and they kill me, make sure you take my daughter to this address. So my dad went, and when he went, he found out the truck stopped, and it was guys that got out to relieve themselves in the bush. They're from the Mozambican border.
Okay.
So we are on the side of the border. So when my dad approached them and spoke to them, and they agreed on something, then we were called.
Right.
It was a furniture truck. We were loaded up in the back of the truck, hide behind the furnitures and stuff. So hungry, they gave us food. We passed out. So when we got into Johannesburg, each and everyone went to the address that they had of some relative. My dad brought me to my mother's mother.
Okay.
That's how I ended up in
South
Africa.
Africa.
At the age of
Sure.
not knowing how to speak Afrikaans, not knowing how to speak English,
So what did you speak then?
Shangaan and Portuguese.
Really?
Shangaan and
So
Portuguese.
do you still speak?
I speak a little, but not having anybody to speak back to
Back
me.
to you, okay, so-
Yeah, I hear. That's one thing I can answer them in English, because that's one thing I don't know how, but I still hear the language fluently. And at some time, I can still speak it where I don't know how, but I can respond.
And in Portuguese?
Portuguese and Shangaan.
Shucks, that's nice.
Yeah,
So they
that's
won't
how.
be able to skinner about you.
No. That's how I came and I ended up now in Kliptown, where I ended up with my mom's mother and her family. They call this place that they stay up till this day Swaziland Yard, because the Swazis ended up there.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up there, and now they had to get me to a school. That's where the name change came in. Then I got now Jubeida Wilson. That's where my name comes from.
See.
And even my age that I am.
So you actually took your mother's
Surname. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they made me older and said that the midwife didn't record my birth. So they made me a little bit older to fit in at school, this side. So I started school with a different name, different surname, different date of birth. My date of birth is 1964.
Right.
I got a new date of birth, 1959.
Really?
Yes. So that's the date of birth that's still on my ID, and I'm having pension already, and I'm enjoying it.
What?
Yep. Yeah, and that's how I ended up in Kliptown, going to school there, and at the age of 9, my mom came back. She was sick. She now came back to her mother's place because she wasn't there.
How did you feel when your mother abandoned you?
I was so bitter because now I'm with the elderly, my elderly grandparents. They can't do children's stuff. My dad became an alcoholic. He couldn't handle the fact that his wife left him. And now at 9, here she comes back. I must now stay with somebody I don't know. And
where's your father then?
my dad was with me. He was the one that was
Okay.
making sure that my dad could take on any job to make sure that I'm well taken care of at my grandmother's place, where I was the maid in my grandmother's place at the age of 5.5 to 6. From that age on, I was the maid. I couldn't communicate because I couldn't speak their dialect. So they had to hit me to make me understand what is it that they want me to do now. They will slap me. They will press my face in dung. This is what you were supposed to pick up. This is stuff like that. So I had to clean the shabin. My grandmother ran a shabin. So in the morning, when her first customers come, those canned fruit bottles must be cleaned for the maisa or the whatever they're drinking. It must shine. The fire must be made. Water must be put up for all the other children. When they get up, they must wash. When I have to wash with cold water because they never fill the bucket again and put on the stove. So that type of abuse I went through, and I couldn't complain because if I complain to my dad, they keep on reminding me he will be deported. He will be deported if you complain. We just call the police. They'll report him. So my dad was my everything. My dad was my hero. My dad was my hero, my God. That was my first love. He would do anything. My dad would even go to the market to ask for cabbage leaves, beetroot leaves, and say it's for his rabbits.
Yeah.
Then he buy a cow heel,
Yeah.
boil it up, cut all those leaves and stuff in there, then it's a pot of food to eat.
Wow.
While my mom was not around. My mom was staying in town, had another life there, and I was with my dad. I was my dad.
So did you know your mother? Did you know her?
I knew her. My dad had two photos, one of me and one of my mom.
Oh, okay.
That was the only treasure that he had in his wallet all his life. So I knew her. So I came now to Johannesburg, South Africa, find out I have two sisters. We are so strange to each other. There's no relationship. There's no way that we can relate. We pass each other. People will hit me in the street. They will pass by. They don't know me. Why must they intervene? Stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I learned a skill
Sure.
to fight my own fights, my own battles from a very young
Very
age.
young age. And all that is in the book, guys. A very interesting story. Tell me, while we're on this, what made you write this biography? What went through your mind?
It was so painful that I start writing now when I was now married, okay? Now I was 11 years old. My mom just decided she couldn't handle me. The first best man that came around could marry me at the age of 11.
Right.
I was the first one getting married at the age of 11, too young to sign, but my mom was there to give consent, so it was good. So I didn't know I had no knowledge on how to bring up a child. Yeah, I'm pregnant at the age of 11. I have no breast. What's going to happen?
So did all that things go through your mind? Is it because you wanted to help people out there? You wanted to just get your story out there?
My reason for writing was the fact that being now in ministry, I realized that it's not me, I'm not the only one that's going through some stuff.
Yeah.
And the painful thing of all is you have nobody to talk to.
Right.
I had nobody, not a mother, no sisters, no brother. My father got murdered. He was my confidant. He was my best friend. When I had my fourth child, my father got murdered when my child was 8 months old, the fourth one. So I was cut off from everything. So I started writing.
Sure, the only thing you knew, the only
one that I had.
You
I had
clung to was
I had
like,
to go and identify his body murdered. And they
no
threw some
ways.
rubbish from the rubbish bin on him. I could only identify him by his feet. So my whole being, it was like I was now cut off from everything and everyone. Then I started writing.
Okay.
I only went till it was standard 5 then. I don't know what grade, what is it?
Grade
Standard.
7.
I was on my way to grade 8
Right.
when I became somebody's mother and somebody's wife already.
Sure, okay.
So I wanted to become something and someone. So I read. I start reading, even if a newspaper piece can just, the wind blow it to my leg, I would block it and take it and read. I read. I was in places before I really set foot in some countries. I read about it.
Right.
Because I had the desire to skill myself, to equip myself in some way.
Now, Jubeida, earlier you said, I just want to get back to that. So earlier you said that you were 9 when your mother came back into your life.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, since how many years you don't really know this woman?
That made me rebellious. For her to come and now command, do this, do that. She's now sick. I must now take care of her. My mom used to shed skin like a snake. And here we end up staying in a one little room. That room is our bedroom, our bathroom, our kitchen, our everything. So if she sheds skin, every morning before I leave, I have to sweep up the skin and put it in bags. I couldn't invite anybody from school home because what happens at home.
Right.
So now I'm rebellious because where were you all this time?
Right.
Where were you when I needed you? Where are you coming from? Because now it's just like you back and you were there all the time. My father had to serve her because now she's sick. It's not our problem. Where she was, they chucked her out.
Because in the book, I know she was married to another guy.
She
And she
stayed,
lived her life.
She stayed with him, but
Oh,
not
she was
married.
not married,
It was
okay.
still in the Immorality Act. That was a white guy.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she stayed there as a maid when people come, but is the wife.
Right.
Yeah, stuff like that. And we didn't know that. But this guy now, he came to the house. My dad had to go buy alcohol for her and her people. And all that built up such a lot of hatred. I hated my mom because I couldn't understand. You left me. We came here. You're not here. You come back. My dad still have to be such a I don't
gentleman.
know, you know, to still buy.
But I suppose he also thought, you know what, I'm not going back to
Mozambique?
Zim,
Yeah.
because of the fact that they're going to deport us.
That's what he
What's
had to
gonna happen to us?
endure all this.
Shucks.
He had to endure all this. So he got this job. When they murdered him, he got a job. And he came home every fortnight. My dad, why I missed my dad up till this day, when I had a baby, my dad would make breakfast where they stay, breakfast and lunch, and come drop it off at home for my first 10 days. And then when he comes from work, he'll rush back, cook us dinner, and come and drop it off. Every day for the first 4 children. That was what my dad did. So remember, after this 4, 9 came. There was nobody that took care of me then. So I had to hustle for myself.
I don't know how you did that, right? Lord. Yo.
That was
I don't
just
know how you
something.
did that. You know, being a child at the age of 11, if you can just take us through that journey, you know, you were a child of the soil of Mozambique, right? You had to go through that ordeal, right? Through a river, crocodiles. You saw what happened to other people. You saw bloodshed, right? People who died
Yes.
and could not make it through, right? You are 5.5 years old, right? And now being an adult, now what is the flashbacks that you get? Like thinking that, I wonder if we stayed,
Would everybody
what would have
still be alive?
happened?
Yeah. You know, the only thing that really stands out a lot is it was meant to be. I start to realize for me to come here was meant to be. Even if God had to let it happen that way.
Right.
At first, I was rebellious. Where is God? How can
Right.
a loving God that my
Allow
grandfather
this?
always spoke about allow this to happen? And now I end up in a worse situation as where I come from, because there we had a mud hut, yes, but we had our fruit was growing outside. We could just go in the morning, get a pawpaw from the tree and have breakfast. That was the life. Now I'm now in a place where I have to live with black coffee and pabransel.
Yes, dat jy, sister.
Pabransel, if there
Ja,
is
en dan
left.
kan jy nog als jam opsit.
You understand? As that toch jam was. But that's all I get. After all of them ate, after this, a slave made the fire, put up the water, make sure the stuff is bought to be cooked, and if there's something left, I might get. If not, I must be satisfied with nothing. That's why my dad did what he did by going to get the leaves and stuff and make food. And he ended up working as a chef in a hotel, and he would take all the scraps and bring it back and say it's for his pigs. So when he comes, that scrap was thrown in a bowl, all the half-eaten burgers and the chips and half-eaten bread rolls that was there, I would take them out and I would have a feast on that day when my dad comes. So that was the only time that I could taste a burger and a bread roll and some fried fresh chips, you know. So that was my life. Coming from worse, I thought that was worse. I came to worse, to the bad side of life,
Shucks.
thinking that the groot stad.
Yeah, and also you think that, you know what, now my mother came back into my life, things are going to be a little bit better. Because that's what I think as a child.
Yeah, hoping and praying.
Yeah, because you yearn for your mother.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know that a mother is supposed to be that nurturer.
That's
Mother's
right.
supposed to be that person
Yes.
that must take care of you,
me.
watch for the dangers
Yes.
and stuff like that, you know. So now you hear but your mother, you actually have to now
Take
be a
care of
slave.
her.
You have to take care of her, be there for the Shabin
Yes.
people and stuff. So you are made a helper,
Yes. Just
a
to
maid,
fit in,
a
just
slave,
to, yeah,
just to have that roof above your head, I suppose.
definitely.
And just to be a little bit safe.
Yes.
But then things went haywire according to what went wrong. Because I can just imagine why. Because there's rejection that creeps in.
Right.
You know, there's something that I normally do when I do coaching, or you know, I call it the tree, where the roots are not so lacquer.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The way, the things you saw,
Yes.
the things that happened to you, and now there's a stem that needs to build, and there are fruits that comes from the branches. So when rejection is within you, there are certain fruits that comes from this root of rejection.
Definitely.
So you actually went through the rejection as a child by a mother who abandoned you, right? And now you feel like, now I'm supposed to have a better life. You're back into my life.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a mother.
Yeah.
And now today you are a mother
Of 12.
And now I can just imagine. Therefore, you were there for them.
Yes.
Carrying this. I mean, a mother of 12 children, Lord. Jy't krag gehad, sister. Take me through that journey, you know. What happened to the family? According to your book, you say you suffered many abuse since a young age. Take us through that abuses, because the abuse is this. This is now, guys. Can I put it, the roots of the tree, right? Rejection was one, abandonment, right? And we're now by the abuse side. What is the abuses that you went through in your personal life?
Right. This is still as a child.
Yes.
Right. The abuse was so bad that everyone would get. My mom is not there yet. I must now go make the fire, as I said, put the water, everything, go to school, barefoot, winter or summer. My heels was so cracked. I was mocked at school. Children would ask, can we put our money in your purse? The way my heels was cracked. Coming back from school, I can't even eat or sit like other children. I must still do home chores. And there's people at home. There's other children that's also staying there. But I was the glorified maid. I always say to the kids, I was the glorified maid that had to do everything. And then one day, as I came back from school, this stands out a lot because my life could have ended on that day. Came back from school, my grandmother wanted me to go buy her potato chips in Kliptown. I thought to myself, I couldn't say anything because you get smacked in the face. So I thought to myself, everyone was already back from school. I'm coming late and I still have chores to do. And now I must leave everything and go to the shop. And on my way to the shop, I got two of the guys that's in my class walking with another guy. And this guy called me and he said, listen, you have to come with us. I said, no, man. My grandmother said, listen, I'm a friend of your father. So when somebody mentioned my father,
right,
I will bow down before you. My father is my hero.
Yeah.
So this guy said he'll tell my father when he calls me I'm rude. I said, no, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. So I called a cousin I said, please, Irene, can you just go buy the chips for Oma and tell her I have to go with my father's friend?
Okay.
Not knowing where we're going to. We ended up near Soweto, walking with this guy. This guy lay me on the railway line, undressed me, planned to rape me. A white guy who had a farm, a milk farm, was in his milk room. They had this little outlook towers, yeah. And he saw what is happening on the railway line, and he shot 2 shots in the sky, and this guy ran and left me there, and a train was coming. That day I was walking around in Soweto looking for a way out to get back to Kliptown.
Wow.
And I was still very small. I think I was, if not mistaken, about 8.
Sure.
So walking back with these 2 boys that was left in another bush while he had plans, this guy. This one boy, he grabbed their jackets. That was the bed he made with their jackets, their school blazers, put on this railway line for me to lay on top. So he grabbed that and he ran. So when I actually got home, I was beaten up so bad. Nobody asked me what happened. Where were you? Where you coming from? It was already dark when I found my way back home. I was beaten into a pulp. I just had to sit in a corner, no food, no water, no nothing. I must sit there. That's my punishment. The next morning I had to get up, make sure the fire is made, everything is done as usual.
And you never spoke to a friend or a teacher at
No
school?
friends. I had no friends, not even from the family.
Aye, man.
And at school, there was also a teacher that tried to kiss and
Took
fiddle on.
advantage of
So
you.
I isolated myself completely. So getting to school, relating the story, because the family of the 2 boys came to school, relating the story, now we have to drive in a police van from stoop to stoop at the shops to look at if I can recognize this man. I don't know this man. So the next day, this one boy died. He fell from the railway in Kliptown over the Klipspruit West Bridge. His mother said, if you don't come back with the jacket, today I'm going to beat you. So he got epileptic fits on the bridge and he fell in the river and he died. So the next day, it's meeting at the offices again. I must take out this man because this man went a little further with me according to the boys. I must know this man. I was so traumatized. But having nobody to talk to, that's when I turned to smoke weed. I stole now from the Shabin the gin that looks like water. I didn't know what it was, but I knew when I saw my grandmother's customers drink this water thing, they passed out immediately after drinking this. So I needed something to pass out.
Right.
So
you
I
want to now numb all this
Yes.
abuse.
So I started stealing her alcohol, numbing myself, smoking weed, got involved in a lot of different stuff now. Got involved with gangsterism. They teach me how to fight. If I was beaten, how to fight back. I started walking with the okapi, a knife now. At that small age, but I had to defend myself. Right. Not just be against the family, against the teachers at school. Everywhere it was like I was in a lion's den. Right. There was no safe haven for me. And when my dad comes and he asks me, what is this, Bruce? No, Papa, I was chopping wood and I don't tell him, they beat me up. He once came and I had stitches in my leg. They throwed me with a bottle and it cut my whole leg open. I got stitches. He came back, asked me, no, I made a mistake. I hurt myself. I never told him.
Because so he never knew that you were in gangsterism.
He never knew what really happens in my life because I'm afraid that if I complain and he asks, they'll deport him.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He was my only anchor.
So I want to ask this question on that. Mm-hmm. Is it, as we are taught in counseling, in coaching, is it that the feelings that you feel from within does not satisfy you, that it goes to different avenues to action it out,
Yeah.
whatever you feel from within. You actually
Action it
take
out.
it out and action it out.
Definitely.
Is that
That's
a true
what
thing?
happens. It's a very true thing. Because I even try to numb this with different substance.
Right.
And thinking, okay, maybe there I'll be in a better space. I even snuffed benzene. Benzene made me so high that even if they beat me, it's like I'm laughing. It's like it's going, wow, that slow motion. If they talk, it's slow motion. It was a nice place to be, that it was
Oh,
a nice.
my
So
word.
benzene became my escape mechanism. I'd snuff it and I'll see the clouds like cloud 9, it's like pink, the clouds, everything is just different. Even if they hit me and they beat me up, I don't feel it. It's like, it's like they're hitting on rubber.
And if that thing's way out,
Then I feel the pain. Then I wonder now, what is happening? Why am I so bruised? And what happened? And then I had to take another snuff just to get out of reality.
right.
It was an
and
escape
that's how
mechanism.
you actually get addicted to substance.
To some substance, definitely. So when I had my second child, I think it was Peter, I was so high on weed, even their
So
father.
tell me now, man. Tell me the journey. How did you meet your husband?
Okay, all right, let's go there. The
I
children's
mean,
father.
at the age of 11, you had your first child.
Yes. So by trying to defend myself, remember I tried gangsterism.
Right.
It nearly put me in jail.
Right.
I got likes at the police station. They pulled me over. They didn't know I'm a girl. They pulled me over the bench and they caned me because we robbed an ambulance. So so I did all the funny stuff with those gangsters. They call them the panga men.
Yeah, because
So-
I read in the book that there was a murder that also
Took place,
took
yeah.
place.
Mrs. Bowen.
Yeah.
And when they
And
pulled
in
her
the shop
intestines, and
where you worked,
Yeah, my
they used
grandfather's-
you. Yeah.
I was the one to have to steal all the stuff. So when I left that, I needed something to help me defend myself. Then another guy who died now, his name is Bolo, he invited me to the judo and karate club.
Yeah.
So when I ended up there, I was, all the anger, all the hurt, all the pain, I could now take it out on this. It was like I could beat that punching bag. I could just do whatever now to get all that out of my system. Beating on, this is now a beating field for me. So I met my children's father there.
Yeah.
I met him he took me home and each one was appointed to take somebody home on your way home. Drop this one off by foot. Because where Klipspruit West is now,
Yeah.
it was Gamshu's farm first. So the gym was there. And I'm staying in Kliptown. So imagine to walk from
Right,
there.
yeah, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, so we had some people helping us to take us home because we couldn't come through across the flay. We had to walk around. So then my children's father was appointed to take me home because the others had other plans. I start to look like a man. I cut my head bald. I acted up as a man. They never knew I'm a girl because I didn't have breast.
Right.
So they wanted to get to a place where they can corner me and undress me and see if I'm a girl or a boy. So my children's father was already in church something.
That can also be a defense mechanism that you can use, being a girl to be a boy, just to defend
Yourself.
yourself.
Yeah, cover myself.
Yeah.
Because
Just to hide.
And in the yard where I grew up, a lot of stuff happened. That's part of the abuse. There was a pit, a very deep pit in the yard. And the bigger ones in the yard would make abortions. I didn't know what that was then. Then I was the glorified maid and I had to throw the stuff that's in the bucket in that pit. So one day I looked and I saw a baby head, like a human head and stuff like that. So for me, I never even thought that I would get my own babies. When we sit and talk, I would always say, and when I grow up, I would work, get a lot of money, buy a big house, and take all the children that nobody wants. That was my that I never had a dream of getting married and no, not like other girls. No, I would say I'll buy a big house, take all the children that's hurting and nobody want them, and put them in my house and make it nice for them. That was my topic every day. So seeing all this mess, and it stuck in my brain. It was, I couldn't understand, what is this? I'm so small. I didn't know this thing comes out of a human being. Even when my first child was born, I didn't know she's going to come out of me. I was looking for the Germany, even at the hospital. You know,
the aeroplane.
Yeah, because that was
because you're only 11 years old.
And I have no breast. So I had to go play outside. We all played outside and watched, and then a helicopter or airplane would pass, and then after a while they'll call us and say, see what the helicopter through the chimney for this household. That's how we know this household is now blessed with a baby.
Yeah.
So now I have something inside of me. I don't know what is happening here. I'm looking for a place where I see a chimney in the hospital. So the best place that has a black pipe is the toilet. So I sat in the toilet. My baby was nearly born in the toilet because I didn't know what's going to happen. Nobody told me it's going to come out of me. I thought it's going to be thrown in there, but why is my stomach paining? Stuff like that. You know, so my children's father.
So you got married to him?
Yes.
Okay, when you were pregnant?
No, before... my child was already born when I got married to him.
Okay.
Because what happened, my child was a month old and he got stabbed and he ended up in the morgue.
Oh, yes, I read about
and I
that,
had to go and identify his body.
Right.
And then he turned, while we're standing at the morgue, waiting to be called in to identify him. The guy that was supposed to call us ran past us, and they come back with some doctors, and they went in there and worked on something, and the next best thing, there's a person now pushed out of the morgue, back to the theater and stuff like that, and he's now alive again. So, and that was after 3 days because they stabbed him. They stabbed him the Saturday. That was not the Monday that I got a tag from on his toe that had passed away 9:30. So all that happened, and then October, I just turned 11. I was still 10. I just turned 11 at October 29, 1975, and then November the 4th, we got married because he was in hospital still a month after the baby's birth. But she was born in August. September
so
he got...
this is your second child?
The first one. The first one. She was born in August.
Oh, yeah. It's
Rachel.
Rachel,
yeah. She was born the first, 26th of August. The 26th of September, they stabbed him. She just turned a month. And then 29th October, I just turned 11. And then November the 4th, we got married.
Yes.
So all that in 1 year, 1975. Married, a baby, married, and my birthday of 11-year-old birthday.
And then you said you were the child was 11 months, and then you found out you're pregnant again.
Again, every year it happened now like that. I didn't know about family planning because all Pentecostals believe contraceptives was a very big sin. You will go to heaven, that pills or whatever you use will pull you down, no rapture for you. So hearing no rapture for me, I want the rapture to take place. So every year, when my child is just 1 year, 3 months, the other one is born. 1 year, 3 months, the other one is born. 1 year, 3 months, the other one is born. That's how it went with all my children. I didn't have time to really nurture my child long enough. The first one.
Yes,
the first one was fine because there was no breast for her to breastfeed. So the second one, Peter, and the people ask me, why do I give Peter, Rachel, Peter. That's the only one
Yeah,
of the names I can remember
yeah.
because it's the Bible that
Bible
I had to
names,
read
right.
every day. The other big names, I'll forget my own child's name, so I had to give them Bible names. Yeah, so every year, 1 year, 3 months, 1 year, 3 months, 1 year, 3 months, until number 8. Number 8, I lost number 8. I lost the baby that she died. He died a month death inside of me already. I couldn't understand. I was so sick. I was really very sick. When I got to the doctors, the baby was already busy decomposing inside of me. So they had to remove the baby. Actually, just forget about me, put me in a sluice room, put a drip on, the baby came out, and I had to help myself, and it was a baby boy. The lady that came to get a bedpan found me there, and I asked her, can you just cut this, please? Nobody's here. They left me in here. Then they took me to do a scrape and stuff like that. The 9th one, which is now the number 8, Debbie, the one that you know that sings.
Yes.
When she was born now, she was born so sick. Her head, she had no hair. She was born with no hair at all. If I touch her head, it's like pus. It's like a big boil. She had no eyebrows. She had nothing. I didn't even think that child of mine would be alive. She was very sick. But as the doctors explained, my womb was already infected by the death
of the child.
So my body never got any
The
chance to heal. That's why I'm suffering. They call it anemic.
Oh yeah.
Because of losing blood.
Yeah.
As soon as I need to, my blood needs to recuperate, another one comes, and another one comes. And now, before number 12, I had severe aggressive cervical cancer. So bad that I already signed a document with an orphanage, Abraham Creel, to take my 11 children. Because which woman will take a man with 11 children?
Absolutely.
So they must not be split. They must be taken in because the doctors told me this cancer is very bad. My whole blood was black. I couldn't go to church for 1 year and 6 months. I laid as a vegetable. My children had to pick me up and clean me up and change the bed every 3rd minute. I had to be washed. It's stuff like that. For 1 year and 6 months.
Really?
It was so bad. Then, miraculously, God healed me without chemo, without medication. On my day that I had to go to the hospital where they will now decide to remove my whole, do a total hysterectomy, another lady from Soweto, a very good friend of mine, Pastor Tandi Sitole, she came because she was asking in the prayer meetings. Nobody went and looked for me, but everybody knew I'm backslidden and all that stuff. The others even came, the doom prophets. Confess and die. We will help Pastor with the children. They don't, nothing that's positive. I laid there. For 1 year and 6 months, I didn't know how the church, which was in the backyard, looked. I could just hear people coming in the house, opening up the pots, feeding their children from my children's food, from the church congregation members, stuff like that. They would come and dress themselves up if they rained.
So
wet.
your husband now went into ministry.
He was in ministry all these
the
years.
time.
I know. I got him as a man in ministry.
So what's the age difference then?
He's going to be 70 next month. 70.
And when you met him, he
was 22.
He was 22 and you were 11.
Yes.
Here gee ons krag, né? Nee, Here, dis nie reggie. So your mother just signed and said, okay, no, this man wants you. He wants to get married to you.
Just listen to him and
blah,
do
blah, blah.
everything he says. He's your God. Do everything he said. I had no voice.
So now to go to the positive stuff, because our time is so just that day. Yeah, girlfriend.
They must get the book.
They must get the book. Guys, everything is in the book. Please support my sister by just buying a book for 100 rand. That's all. Only 100 rand. It's nothing, guys. Let's support one another, right? And buy this book. So now you then eventually you divorced your husband
In 2010.
in 2010.
Yes.
Because it
After-
was a little bit too much for you to bear.
Yes, after 35 years of marriage,
Wow, that's a long time.
a very long time, I just couldn't handle anymore because I couldn't get any more babies. After my 12th one, I got paralyzed from my waist down. My womb, which was now already tattered and torn,
Yeah.
rest on a sensitive nerve which paralyzed me.
Yeah.
So my blood pressure is down. They can't do surgery like normal. They had to now remove my navel and do the surgery through my navel. And I said, tied up everything that needs to be tied up. So my marriage started falling apart when he would come back from work and he passed a pregnant woman. And he passed a pregnant woman and he'll come back home and be upset.
Right. So now, thank you so much. My producer just brought the phone because I'm so in this conversation and I'm for real in it that I forgot I must actually go to my
No messages.
messages. Everybody who signed up. There's one person, Fiona White. Thank you so much for tuning in, Fiona. And she's asking, she say, if I look in the mirror now, I see and feel what you went through. The only difference is the crocodiles was people. I am still going through this pain, but not with my mum, but with my husband.
Sure.
You. Yay. So you see, Fiona, get the book. And then if you can, you never know. You can always get a hold of Jubeida and she will be able to help you through that pain because there's so many pain out there. And Candace Sammy say, grace, grace, grace. This is only grace. I know Eileen Peilman, thank you so much, my friend, for tuning in. She say, oh my word. Thank you, Debbie, for all the hearts, and Fanette Fredericks. Thank you so much. What a brave woman. I salute you, Jubeida. Yes, we do. We salute her. So, guys, if we want to be there for her, we are our sister's keeper. Right? So let's support her. I mean, she did something. She wrote it. She put it in a book. Let's support her by buying a book. Candace Sammy say, where do we order or get the book? Please. Sorry, I probably missed it. Yeah, you can get the book here by me. Jubeida will bring the books here. And you can get the book here from Crystal Church. And then we will see that all the monies are given to Jubeida. So you can contact Jubeida, you can contact me at Crystal Church, and then yes, we will do it that way. There's quite a few who's asking where do we get the book. So now yes, my last question is a little bit of a celebratory something because our time is up. I want to ask you. The American thing, man, because I know you after your divorce you went to America, and I
Before
suppose
that,
in
1999,
you
I
went 1999
for the first time, and it became an annual thing.
Right, and it became every year you
Yes.
went. But I want to ask something celebratory in the sense of your children. How's your relationship with them?
I have a very close relationship with
Yeah.
my children. I can't even go out of the room or out of the house when they didn't inspect my outfit. They will even tell me, go back, Mom, that doesn't fit there and this doesn't fit there. They are my fashionistas. They are
Yes.
doing my face. They doing my hair actually.
Awesome.
So I have a very good relationship with my children.
That's so wonderful, eh?
And not all of them are happy that the divorce took place.
Yeah,
You know how it
absolutely,
is.
yeah.
And still praying and hoping that things will work out. But you know, if he's married, he's still married to somebody else, their father. So I'm still just doing Jubeida.
Right.
And I love my children. I've got 20 grandkids already.
Yes, you're a
20.
rich woman, man.
And it's not even all 12 that they're children already.
Yeah.
So there's still more coming. So at the moment, I've got 20 grandchildren. And I enjoy them. I get the opportunity now and then to just spend time with the first 12. Because almal op 'n tyd.
Ooh, dat maak jou mal. Vra vir my, ek het maar net 5. Maar as hulle almal saam is, oh
Yeah.
my word,
Yeah.
it's too many. So
It
you have
is.
20, you rich.
20.
So you actually see the blessings of the Lord because you can't do it without Him, am I
Not-
right?
not at
So
all.
it
He's
is
my-
very important to actually say that the Lord
Oh, he pulled me through.
pulled Jubeida through. And so I want you to just speak to that woman who's actually suffering,
Going through the same stuff.
you know, the pain of abuse, the pain of things of life,
Yeah.
you know, what life's throwing at them. I want you just to, last remarks, actually, if you can just speak to that woman out there.
All right, my sister. Most of the people ask me, how did I get through this? How did I manage to get 12 children, and if one child's pain is already killing? How did I get through the abuse, the malice, the hatred, the jealousy? I can tell you it wasn't easy. If I didn't know God as my anchor, after my dad passed away, God really became the father to the fatherless. He gave me the strength that I never knew I had. He pulled me through stuff that was supposed to kill me. And you know, today I'm looking at the people that caused the abuse. Because as you said, it's not crocodiles, but people. Beside the crocodiles, I had many more people that abused me to such an extent that I could have been hating them. But I decided not to, because it would have been like I drink poison, hoping my enemy dies. I have now a reverse psychology for them.
Right.
I have decided to do me. I'm getting up in the morning, even if I don't feel like it. I wash, I dress myself up, even if I'm not going anywhere special. And I take care of how I look.
Right.
When I go out, the enemy, those ones that were waiting to see that, oh, you're not saying op sak en asset. No. I give them a shock of a life, because
Right.
while they were waiting for me to go down, I'm going up. You know, one day when I woke up, the Holy Spirit told me, Jubeida, you are going over and not under.
Right.
You are called to be the head and not the tail. Live like a princess, a queen. Act like a queen. Walk like a queen. People, when they see me, a lot of people, when they see me asking for money, asking for this, because the way I conduct myself. My sister, try to change the way you conduct yourself. People will only treat you the way you treat yourself. You're giving them the ammunition. If you are very down and you show them. You know, the Holy Spirit told me not to show my enemies my tears.
Right.
And when I go out of there, I might have cried. Even for my children, when I went through such a lot of abuse and I came out of the bedroom, they would see my eyes are red. My children now knew that, oh, ma het seker weer gebid. She was in the inner closet. They won't know that I was paining so bad. I didn't want them to see my tears. Don't let your enemies know your weakness and your weak points, because they will prey on that. I want to encourage you. You will go over that. You will get through that. Allow God to take the driver's seat of your life. That's what I did. He's driving this vehicle and I am just a passenger enjoying the smooth
Right.
Okay.
Amen. Well, we came to the end of our show, and I want to encourage you and say to you, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and Jesus Christ is the only hope for the hopeless.
Yes.
And we say no to abuse.
Yes.
No abuse. It's what you allow. Don't allow any form of abuse, because if you allow it, you cannot blame anybody who's taking advantage of you, right? And I want to say, take care. May God bless you. Go in the peace of the Lord, for I love you. God loves you best. Mwah.
In the shadows, as I look upon my life, in the shadows, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dream. As I look upon my life, in the shadows, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dream.